should be fun. And because what I planned to do, uh, just kind of messed up a little bit. There's one thing they can't play offline, then there's one thing that doesn't work. Well, two things that don't work. So those I have to replace, is, and then figure out what I want to do with one. Because I don't want to really play like a game 3 times. And frankly, it's been kind of early for to play like in the other two games I'm thinking of. Because just like there's one that will be like 8 hours, then there's one that's like 6. I'm leaning more towards the 8 hour one. Um, um, just because of that. Uh, Then the only problem is like with the other ones, because just like some of the other ones, it's just like they don't work really. So anyway, uh, this is hour 7. Harmonia decided to work, unlike Sapir, Sapaya Tears and Lucid 9. So unfortunately, with both of those two titles, I will not be able to do them. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but oh well. Oh, and I would be so pissed if I could have actually changed it to like it being recording the game window opposed to opposed to the window on the rectangle on screen like how I am now. Mainly because just like if that was the case, then yeah, a lot more of them could have been played. And I know for a fact I will be able to have not been able to, well, I will have been able to go through it without repeating. Anyway, I've spent too much. Like I've basically, with how everything's averaged out, uh, that's I've basically averaged to be I've been on the title screen for about 7 minutes. It began with an unnatural beep. Pale light suffused my vision, um, and I first saw the light a few seconds prior. Uh, uh, or perhaps it was a few hundred years ago. Um, Nothing else had changed much. Uh, I wondered when I had started seeing the lights. Uh, eh. I wondered when I would stop seeing the light. Why would you want to stop seeing the light, though, in all honesty? Uh, Ideas flowed through my vague consciousness. Uh, I wondered how many times it had been. Um, I wondered how many more times would I have to think these thoughts. Uh, Unconsciously, I extended my arms towards the pale light. Uh, was something ending? Yes, your life. And we are actually getting the hospital thing. Was something beginning? Hmm, very good question. Hmm, I didn't know, of course. Well, to be fair, nobody really does. Uh, Even so, I mean, I remained hopeful and continued to extend both arms towards the light. Uh, uh, la- like nobody really knows what's on the other side of the light. Cause like people see, uh, um, then the air moved. The pale light which had once surrounded me began to recede. And as for if you guys are wondering why I am quiet right now, or at least trying to be at least a little bit quiet, literally everybody at my house, except for me, is asleep right now, so I'm gonna try not to wake them up. In fact, probably, if it wasn't for the fact that I was going for a 24-hour recording session, I would. And the max that I would sleep for, or attempt to sleep for, is 10 minutes. So I wouldn't rest, like I wouldn't be sleeping much. Or at least I'll try not to sleep much, so that's like it's more fun when at the later part, or I am like, okay, so what do I say now? Or am similar to uh like a drunk person. And no, of course, or I know for a fact that once I get to 24 hours, I will be sleeping. Cause like probably at this time, like if assuming that I don't go and sleep, well, assuming that I don't take like any more breaks, which I doubt it. Uh, let's see. So that noon was 5. Yeah, I probably would be finished. Like I would be finishing around 9. So yeah, well, 9 9 p.m. today. Uh, the reason why I decided today was literally I needed a 24-hour period where I was not doing anything. This was it. Yeah. Plus, I also needed to upload, so it kind of gave me an excuse to process it and then upload it. Well, upload the video. And the next thing I saw was a filthy ceiling. Both my right arm and left arms were extended towards the ceiling, but the right was a little different. My right arm was mechanical, and some components were poking out from the wrist. The fingers moved smoothly, but as they did, I could hear the gentle vibration of metal scraping against metal. I began to sit up slowly. Uh, I finally realized that the pale light which had consumed my vision came from the softly curved oblong lid which was before me. Apparently I'd been asleep in this capsule-like thing. And where was I? Who was I? Why was I here? Oh, chapter 0. Oh, wait, no. It's a title first. So apparently it changes based on where you are in this thing. That's pretty cool, actually. And you're just made here. That's why you're here. Asking these questions to myself provided no answers. In an attempt to trace back my own memories, all I could recall was that pale light. Hoping to find even the smallest thing about my memories, I climbed down from the capsule and began to wander around the room. Um, Even though I knew how to walk, I must not have done it for a long time. My legs were unsteady and shaky. Taking great care not to fall over, I slowly continued my walk. The air around me was lukewarm, and each breath I took coated my tongue with dust. Outside light was coming in through a hole in the ceiling, and its path revealed the dust in the air. Um, it seemed as though no one had been in this building for quite some time. As a thin layer of dust covered the floor, I wondered what went on in this place. A countless number of those oblong capsules dotted the huge room, and the majority of them were open, and they were all empty. Some of them were closed, but even they had nothing inside. It seemed like I was the only one in the room. Not that, no, that wasn't exactly true. There were people leaning against the capsules, lying sprawled on the ground. Except something was wrong. You couldn't exactly call them human. It might be more accurate to call them humanoid objects. The mechanical parts of these humanoid objects could be seen peeking out from beneath their skin. For some, everything above the neck was mechanical. The mechanical arms on some were bare. Some the lower house were torn and their mechanical parts visible. I remember something about these humanoid objects. Spheroids. Sorry, spheroids. Sorry, spheroids. It's made for humans to serve as their partners. They are equipped not only with the five senses, but also emotions in order to be as close as possible to real humans. I reached out my hand to a motionless spheroid. The bare, skinless arm was frighteningly similar to my own. I understood. This was a factory. I was made here. Just before I was completed, this place must have been destroyed for some reason. Right before my arm was covered with artificial skin, staring at my mechanical arm, I reached this plausible conclusion. Realizing what I was, I began to walk towards the wall. There were old automatic doors with dusty LCD reading closed next to them. I touched it with my mechanical hand. Just as my bloodless fingertips sensed something cold and electrical, the display changed to read open and the doors unsealed. Will I be able to get out this way? I wonder if there was someone remaining in the facility. I wanted to meet them. I wanted to meet a human. To find my partner. I pushed the doors open leaning outside, set out in order to prove my own existence. Hmm. So that's interesting. I never thought that would be it. Chapter 1, Encounter. No, to be fair, it says up there, so. Uh, Once the human population hit its peak of 100 billion, of 10 billion, a rapid decline began. Air pollution, water pollution, contamination, and abnormal weather conflicts. What do you expect? The list of causes was endless. During this time, the spheroids were developed. They were deeply emotional partners for humans. Spheroids were virtually equipped with batteries, but afterwards an oral energy supply model was developed. They could be powered by eating food. Spheroids become even more human-like as a result, eventually substituting for family or for lifetime companions as the demand continued to rise. Even more simply, there is no such thing as death for spheroids. Therefore, they were also in high to work high demand for harsh work environments such as hospice care and medicine. They could be used in places which would be harmful for a human body. The pharaohs were happy with this brutal work. After all, the pharaohs existed to live alongside humans, to be needed by humans. Um, okay, so then what happened? As I reclaimed this knowledge from the depths of my memory, I walked across the cracked red earth. Having escaped that sand-covered facility, I was faced with a world that differed immensely from the one I knew. The wind swirled the dust around, interfering with with both my sight and breathing. The earth I tread upon contained no trace of moisture, and each step created a small cloud of sand. The sky was covered with a thick, all-consuming cloud. I could not see a hint of blue. Uh, it was so desolate a scene, and that even it could not be called a wasteland. Um, as far as I could see, there was not a hint of life. Not even plants grew here. It wasn't just a facility that had been abandoned. Something had happened to this area. I came up with several possibilities as I scanned through my knowledge, but found no answer. The occasional downpour will bring with it a rusty smell. In those cases, I took extreme care to make sure rainwater did not enter the glove covering the exposed machinery of my right hand. And I had found the glove in the factory. It fit my arm perfectly, and fortunately was only the slightest bit of space for moisture to make its way inside. Um, what's more, wearing the glove made me look completely human. And I just wanted to be like a human. A sudden thought came to me in that moment. The glove was absolutely essential for that purpose. As I shielded myself from the murky raindrops, I consumed one of the emergency oral nutrient blocks that I had that I had taken from the factory. As their only purpose was to efficiently supply energy, they were almost flavorless. Uh, Regardless, they are necessary for me to keep taking steps forward. Uh, okay. Uh, this this is kind of like weird. Read 66. No matter how many steps I took, I did not find the light I was looking for. Judging from the changing brightness of the sky, I had walked for 3 days. Although I had reduced my speed to keep energy consumption down, I must have covered a fair distance, but I had not encountered a single human along the way. Nor did I encounter any towns, grass, or other living things. All that laid in front of my eyes was endless red-brown earth. It was too harsh of an environment to support any form of life. Was the world completely destroyed? Had humans become completely extinct? Nah, there's one human. Was I the only thing that remained in this world? Not really. There's probably like some bacteria. Seeds of doubt had been planted within me, and then finally began to sprout. However, I kept walking to dispel that drought. I walked and walked and walked and walked and walked. Uh, was that far walks or whatever? I don't know how far I walked. After all, to stop walking would be to lose my reason for existing. And after the third squall, I arrived at a place with enough buildings to call a town. Um, and that was Los Angeles. I am sure that I would find a human there. I may have actually been right that it was Los Angeles. I quickened my steps and began to walk through the town. The town had grown old, and all the buildings were badly weathered. All the metals were rusted, and everything Sai had rotted away. Must have been decades. No, it had been left unattended for even longer than that, I thought. I didn't want to think about it, but I couldn't help myself. What if there wasn't a single human here? Or when my hope began to change into despair, I found myself in front of a store with an enormous showcase. The showcase's glass was broken, and all the goods in it had once that and all the goods they had once contained were missing. It had probably been stolen. They had probably been stolen. As I looked over the showcase, I realized something. I could see my reflection in the glass. I looked to be in my mid-teens. I was about 170 centimeters tall. Excluding my glove on my right hand, I looked completely human. Excluding my gloved right hand, I looked completely human. Although it was hard to call the expression of my face human. Completely transient and inorganic. In no way could it truly be called an expression. Um, it looked human-like, but it was quite far from human. And that is why I saw reflected in the glass. There's no expression, just like an regular old robot. Only something meant to do work, a machine without a soul. Oh, but I was a pure droid. Acknowledging my lack of emotions would prove that I was defective. That was unacceptable. Despite being made to be a human's partner, I could never fill the role. If that were the case, my existence was without merit. Having been activated, I wanted to be useful for humans. However, I would probably need emotions if I were to do so. If I could learn emotions. If I could do that, would I be able to return to existence worthy of a Philadroid? And I don't know. If I met humans, I would surely learn emotions. There's no doubt about it. So I had to find humans. I had to find someone soon and actually talk with them. Um, okay, yeah, definitely weird. I left the town and continued walking. I was driven by an instinct, much like a sense of deity to meet a human. And the degree of brightness in the gray sky quietly began to shift. No matter how far I walked, no matter how far I proceeded, nothing changed. Desolate earth as far as the eye could see. There is no shred of hope. Despite this, I walked. I walked to rid myself of the worry. Uh, oh my god, this is so sad. I'm actually reading this in like probably a tone and voice on how the main character would be speaking. I don't know how many days passed. I kept walking. I just kept on walking. I eventually reached the end of the supply of the oral nutrient blocks I had taken from the factory. Despite this, I continued walking. Um, when I noticed my knees were on the ground, my body would not even accept the simple command to move my legs forward. I looked at my surroundings. Still nothing in but the unchanged barren lands. The gray cloudy sky and the dry stagnant wind. Have all the humans been wiped out? If so, then my vision gradually dimmed, and the world in front of my eyes began to lose its color and slowly went dark. Then I collapsed face down into the reddish brown earth, and I lost consciousness. Uh, it's so sad. Oh well, I'll sleep through tomorrow night though. Uh, well, I'll sleep perfectly fine tomorrow night. Maybe tonight. I'm not sure. Or I doubt tonight though. The next thing I saw was once again a ceiling. However, this ceiling wasn't cold like the one in the factory I'd been activated in. Although it had stains likely due to its age, there was a kind of softness in the white walls and wooden beams that had supported them. Where was I? Why was I here? Turning my head to the side, I saw desks, shelves, and the bed I was lying upon. The bed, which was gently supporting me, was quite soft and had a sweet smell. I knew I had fallen on that devastated earth and lost consciousness. Did that mean someone had carried me to this place? Could it have been that I was carried by... As the thought passed through my head, I heard a noise. It was a small sound, almost small enough to miss, but I heard it. Uh, Putting my thrust in, listening to the sound, I left the room. Um, I followed the hallway. Way that, um, I followed the hallway way that continued outside the door, and the sound grew louder. It was a voice with a mixture of a certain rhythm and intoxication. Sorry, an intonation. A form of expression that humans called song. It was also a somewhat nostalgic singing voice. I had no memory of ever hearing it before. In fact, I did not have any memories to begin with. But somehow I felt nostalgic all the same. Then I began to feel a slight warmth spread throughout my body. Feeling a warm sensation from a song was a strange thing. Strange. I knew it should be strange, and yet, what was I? What was it I was feeling? There was a warmth and within my chest. It was love. Before I knew it, my feet were leading me towards the singing voice. I, curiosity, and maybe love. Of the voice guided me to a big white door. The voice was in the loudest it had been, and the owner of the voice was clearly beyond this door. Er, Laying my hands upon it, I slowly opened the door. Er, a nun. On the other side of the door lay a chapel. It was an open space. Benches were evenly spaced out. There was a multicolored stained glass. As the singer was standing amidst the light that poured in through the window, hands together as if in prayer, was a lone human girl singing. And that strangely nostalgic melody, as she had noticed me, explaining everything. Somehow her warm voice had completely stopped my thinking. I simply stood there, lending my ear to the girl's song. Finished singing, human girl slowly turned my way and smiled. You know, welcome home. Welcome home. Uh, I had replied without thinking, and the girl let out an embarrassed laugh. Um, I'm sorry. You look like exactly like my brother who is out traveling. So I look like your brother. Yes, very much. Your orange color, your power, even your grotesqueness is just like him. Orange, Papawa, what do you mean? Papawa. She attempted to explain with gestures, but I didn't understand. As I mulled over what she was saying, she gave a small laugh. Yeah, I'm sorry, I still haven't introduced myself. She continued to smile as she walked towards me. My name is Shinona. I live in this church. It's nice to meet you. What's your name? Well, what's wrong? The truth is, I don't remember anything. I don't know where I'm from, who I am. I just don't know. Half truth, half lie. I see, that's terrible, so that's why you collapsed there. You helped me, Shinona. That's right, your face was pale and you looked so exhausted. I was shocked. So, it was you. Thank you, Shinona. Uh, you needn't, thank me. I'm just happy you're better. Well, about your name. Um, sorry, I just can't remember it. I see, well, I guess I'll just make up one for you. Huh? You're gonna name me? Well, I have to call you something, right? What would be a good name? It needs to be something cool. So Shinona begins to mumble concerning this name, this name and that name. Then, I got it. With a delighted smile on her face, Shinona took a step towards me, and I may have been tempted to have given like some emotion to everything, but it's just like probably shouldn't when literally I'm the only one up. So it's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm going to literally going to try to wake up everybody in the house and then try to cause a public disturbance so that I get arrested. So no, probably not. So yeah. How about Ray? It's a cool name with just a bit of bite to it, don't you think? I don't know what about a bite, but it is a good name. What does it mean? R-E-I. It's like sounds like the rays of light at dawn. My brother really liked that time of day. Your brother? Uh, right. He set off on a journey saying his music would bring forth the dawn. The meaning of dawn was clearly the end of night. It felt like a fitting name for me. As I had just been activated. Uh, mm, what's your brother like? Well, he's a musician. He's written all kinds of music. Like what? Red music, round music, hot music. I like the white and orange kinds myself. Does music even have like colors and then red and hot? Like in all honesty, I don't know music, but I thought it would be like country, rock, gospel. If that gospel would probably be one since she's a nun, pretty much. So sorry, I don't understand. That's okay. People often tell me that. Shanana said with an embarrassed smile. I really don't understand, but I do really like the name. Thank you, Shanana. Don't worry. Thank you too. It's nice to meet you, Ray. I shook her extended left hand. It was soft and warm. Well, I should show you around the house. Hold on, Shanona. I need to be leaving. You're leaving? Why? Well, I had not thought about what I was gonna say next. I wanted to help humans, but now all I would do is cause trouble. If I were any more of a bother, my existence would be without value. Ray, we need to help each other when we have problems, and Shana looked at the chapel. She looked incredibly small compared to its vastness. It's lonely being here all alone. If it's alright with you, maybe you could stay? Since there was a human right there who wanted that I had no reason to deny her request. She know how to save me, and she gave me a name. But was there anything I could do for her? I wanted to give something back to her. If my being here could in any way pay her back. Alright, thank you, Shana. I will do just that then. And Shinona's expression suddenly relaxed. I'm glad, uh, I'm very glad. My heart feels round and orange. Taking my left hand, and Shinona shook it over and over. Er, this is gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to this. I saw Shinona's smile up close. I realized I wanted to be able to see that smile close by all the time. I felt like I could watch her smile forever. But to that end, there was something I wanted to do. Specifically to return my emotional functions to normal. There is a necessity in order to be a partner. I say that was a necessity in order to be a partner. But even more than that, I stared at Shinona's, I say, yeah, Shinona's face. Upon it, it was the emotion I wanted most. I absolutely most I had to obtain that emotion. I wanted to keep out to help uh, keep Shinona smiling always. I made my decision in secret. Grr. Suddenly my stomach rumbled. That was natural since I hadn't eaten anything after running out of oral nutrient blocks. Are you hungry? Yes, I am. I haven't eaten anything for a long time. I see. When you're hungry, your feelings turn blue. I completely get that. My feelings turn blue? I had no knowledge of such expression. Perhaps it was a manner of speech unique to her. I was at a loss for words. She took my hand. Leave it to me, Ray. I'll get you something nice and tasty for you. It'll have you feeling all orange. Orange. We left the chapel with Shanona pulling me by the hand. Going down a white hallway, she led me to the kitchen. A delicious smell from origins unknown began to tickle my nose. Grr, my stomach rumbled loudly, crying out with desire. Impatient, aren't you? Just wait a little longer. Yoshino took an apron off nearby wall and put it on. Shino's own sweet smell began to merge with the one of cooking that had soaked into the apron. Okay then, what would you like to eat? Shino had began playing the role of a chef. Anything that can be put into my stomach would be good. Yeah, that's very true. No, 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 no. In this case, you would say, "What do you recommend, Ray?" Uh, I would. Like, yeah. Then I'll feel all warm and fuzzy, and the food will be even tastier. Shana smiled, pressing both hands against her chest. Okay, so what do you recommend? I repeated the words she had taught me. Well, today's special is an orange papaya uh, pawa soup. That was a clearly unique verbal expression. I had no idea what she meant. That sounded like it would warm me up. Okay then, I'll have that soup. Right away. He, uh, please take a seat while you wait. Shona pointed to a chair at a nearby table. As I sat down, Shinona began to hum and cook. It was that song, the song she sang at the chapel, that warm, nostalgic feeling. I felt as if I had heard it somewhere before. I began to hear the nice, rhythmic sound of the kitchen knife. It merged with Shinona's song, almost like it was a concert performance. And I swear it's gonna be like a twist, and the robot guy has like the memories of her brother, and so that's why it seems like nostalgia. Uh, Feeling no other desire than to hear this song for the rest of my days, I sat back and soaked it in. She began putting the ingredients into the oiled pot. Suddenly, a rich fragrance began to envelop the room. As the scent became stronger, my stomach began to rattle more and more. Uh, yeah, I was smart. Pretty much, what I tried to do was pause the recording and check the email to see exactly what the full reply was. And I forgot that I'd shut off the modem, so like I'm playing this offline, not online. And so, yeah. Uh, uh, that unfortunately happened. Um, but luckily with the other things, like by the time that I get to or get to the things that probably would need internet, I don't need to worry about internet. And so, Yeah. Um. Okay. Mm. Oh, actually, hold on. Okay, I pretty much just like rearranged it again, and so that hopefully I don't need to worry about anything. Um, and then also don't go and have it so that it's like, oh shoot, never mind. I forgot about that. Forgot about the one thing at the end. Hold on. Okay, now I shouldn't need to change anything more on it. Because I'm pretty sure I won't need to change the ratchet gear. No, I'm pretty sure I won't need to change star change, sir. The Leviathan, don't think it has that happen. So I think that the rest of them have will work with the Windows, and it's more just like, do I have online or right or not? And so like the one I've tested a couple ones, so I know they work offline. So the ones that I'm playing should be offline compatible. She wasn't cooking it for herself; she was cooking for me. It wasn't going to benefit her. Is this how humans act? But then I realized something. At that moment, I was simply being entertained by Shinona. I wanted to be a partner, or I wanted to be useful. Did I just decide I wanted to be useful? Can't I be useful to Shinona somehow? There wasn't anything I could do to make her happy. I stood up from the chair and spoke to Shinona's back as she cooked. Shona, is there anything I can do? Oh, something for you to do? Oh, no, just sit back and wait for the food to be done. Very good wife. If, as I probably should need to have said it that loudly, I can't just sit here and have you cook for me. No, it's okay, don't worry. Everything is fine. I just want to help. Well, how about cleaning up a bit? Uh, pretty much just like, I, just since you, just since you would, freaking insist on doing something, why don't you clean? And a bit, cleaning. That had a good sound to it. It sounded like, really helpful. Okay, clean. Where should I clean? The living room is right next to the kitchen. Why don't you clean it up? Shanna points to the door with her ladle. Got it. I'll take care of it while you're cooking. And oh, I just never clicked. I thought I did. I entered the door, or she had pointed into, and went into the living room. As I did, an herbal smell wafted to my nose. I took several deep breaths to try to determine its source. Uh, but just as I began to look over the room. The living room was completely organized without an unnecessary island to be found. The floor, the walls, everything within the room was kept well clean. Could be that it had already been cleaned. Uh, no, there had to be some part that hadn't been cleaned yet. She asked me to go clean after all. I picked up the duster in the corner of the room and began to clean. The table, the sofa, the decorative plants, the tops of the shelves. As to every single thing that was in the living room. Um, dust went flying around as I worked on the candle holders hanging from the ceiling. Evidently, Shauna's height prevented her from reaching some places. I continued to dust the higher locations. Each time I sent dust plane, I felt like I was being useful. As I contained, as I continued, the dust began to pile up on the table and shelves. I exchanged the duster for a broom the size of my palm and began to collect the dust. There, then something happened as I was cleaning one of the shelves. Oh, my eyes came in contact with a picture on one of them. It was a picture of Shiona. Shuna, and a lone man, her brother. Er, I felt as if I had seen that man somewhere else before. I had. In the showcase of the glass in the town, my own image. Which means that this man was Shiona's older brother. Although we did look similar, there were some clear differences. The man in the photo had an expression on his face that I'd never seen before. Next to Shiona's bright smile, he looked worried and irritated, but was smiling all the same. A variety of emotions mingled within his expression. Is this what she meant by br- brutesqueness? I didn't quite know what emotions were captured in this shot of her older brother, but it did express how well they got along as siblings. I touched my own face as I looked at the photo. I traced my cheeks, pulled on the ends of my eyebrows, and pushed in on the corners of my mouth. I wondered what I could do to make that expression. If I could understand feelings, would I be able to naturally produce that kind of expression? I figured that was the quickest way to fix these broken emotions and and was to come in contact with as many different kinds of emotions as possible. Wow. Um, I did not realize how beat up the cup I'm using for a glass of water is. Is like it's not even a third of the way through yet. It already seems like it's about to burst at the bottom. Um, I recalled that human children learned emotions by mimicking their parents' expressions. So if I came in contact with a variety of emotions and emulated them, then because even if the outside was fine, it would be a lie if the inside was not. Uh, mm, uh, no matter how you patch up a fake, the lie within will show through. First, if I did not learn to experience joy and pleasure from within, I would not be able to smile. I need to be helpful to Shona. Seeing her smile would surely lead me to joy. Uh, I resumed cleaning. Next, I stumbled across a cubicle object. It was a box with a handle on it. It was big enough that it required both my hands to hold it. What was it? A music box. I opened the lid. A gold like disc object was inside. What was on the disc? I was like, what was this disc? I tried turning the handle, but nothing happened. The handle swung meaninglessly without any resistance. Mm, Uh, Ray, the food's ready. She went ahead to open the door and and come inside, bringing the smell of the cooking with her. Once the smell hit my nose, I grunted involuntarily. Wow, it's so clean in here, Ray. As she looked over the room, a smile came to Shinoda's face. I'm so happy you cleaned up this room, Ray. It looks great. Thank you. Thank you. Those words satisfied something deep within me. But I didn't know what it was. What do you have there, Ray? Looking at my hands, she uh, cocked over. Yeah, that's cocked. Uh, uh, her head over or to the side. I think it's supposed to be turned though, more. Uh, uh, it was a wooden box with a handle. That did nothing when it was cranked. Sure, what's this? Oh well. She took the box from me and opened up the lid. The inside was a small metal plate with irregular pro protrusions on its surface. She began to turn the handle, sticking it out of the wooden box, but nothing in particular happened. Only the handle was spinning, that was all. This is a music box. It's supposed to play music when you turn the handle, but since the disc was inside wasn't spinning, it wouldn't make a sound. So it's broken. Right. It's been like that for a long time. She touched the disc with a sad smile was forming on her face. This disc had been my brother has my brother's music on it. Your brother's? That song you were singing? Yeah, that's the one. I haven't heard it for a long time. It can't be fixed? Well, I don't know how. I've never done that kind of thing before, but it's okay. Okay, it's okay for it to stay broken? Yeah, because I remember my brother's music and that's enough for me. Was that really enough for her? I wanted to fix my broken emotions. Leaving things seemed broken. Leaving things broken seemed incredibly inefficient. But Shuna was ready to leave the music box as it was. Because I couldn't just understand that at all. Shuna put the music box back in its place and looked back at me with a smile. Anyway, Ray, the orange poa, poa soup is ready. Shuna led me back into the kitchen. We left the broken music box behind. That music box is gonna be so important later on. The soup was sitting atop the table. Heat was rising from it, and a pleasant smell began to caress my nose. However, its color was in no way orange. Orange. Okay, Ray, let's eat. Shona sat down in the chair and clasped her hands together in front of her face. Already moving to start putting the soup into my mouth, I hurried to mimic Shona. O Father, who art in heaven, and hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Uh, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. After her prayer was over, Shona smiled at me. Please, go ahead and eat. Okay, thank you. I dipped my spoon into the soup and brought it to my mouth. The warm soup spread out, permeating the inside of my cheeks, eggs, and tongue. Just an instant later, the aroma of vegetables began to hit my nostrils. There was nothing like the. This was nothing like the oral nutrient rations. It had stimulating taste and smells. So this was food. As soon as the soup had passed down my throat, I had brought up the second spoonful. Oh, I question where did she get the food, or the ingredients for the food at least. So, what do you think, Ray? Is it good? It's delicious, very much so. As I thought, it was soothing and a parched throat. I brought the soup to my mouth time and time again. Similarly, I took the bread pod upon the plate and ripped off pieces, shoving it into my mouth. Uh, Shiona watched me eat without even laying a finger on her own soup. Hey, you really were hungry, but you don't have to eat so fast. But my hands won't stop. Uh, but I forgot about talking to Shiona and just focused intensely on putting the food in front of me into my body. Yeah, that's basically like the Holocaust survivor. There's they after they were released, they didn't think of a revenge. They thought of food only, like supposedly at least according to Eli Wiesel at least. How about some more? I I placed my dish into Shana's outstretched hand. Please, of course, just a moment. With a joking tone to her voice, Shana went to the soup pot. But why was she calling the soup orange? Orange. Pow Pow was an omnipotent, and so I kind of understood it. When you eat things warm, you get warm. This was warm, toasty sensation Pow Pow. But why orange? Here you go. Probably color. I was thinking about all about this while looking at the milky white soup that Shiona had placed in front of me. And I think that's good enough to end this hour. Or so I guess please like, comment, subscribe if you guys enjoyed. I'd 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 Harmonia, and especially like it if you want to see more. Uh, and I will be heading to Azela the Eternal.